This Land Cruiser has a little rust problem.
And a pretty big one. And things were getting worse and worse.
That's bullshit repair 1+1.
This 60 series Land Cruiser looked really good at first sight, but it held some secrets for us.
Yeah, you don't see any spring hangers.
We see the frame damage is excessive. Actually, I don't want to know what is behind it. What the...
After lifting the body and cutting into the frame, we start to fix everything bit by bit. But today we face a tough decision.
When I look inside, it is like this. I should actually change the entire rocker panel.
Spoiler! That won't happen. And the reason why, you will see later on. In this episode we will tackle this problem. And also fix the front mask, which also has some surprises for us.
We have the front mask off. It's again story of that car.
So stay tuned for today's episode.
In the last episode we tackled the engine and now we tackle the body. But on the body we have to cut some corners. The body is actually newly painted, but you know it is probably consisting more of Bondo than of metal at some point, or at some parts actually. I have to weld some holes I already see. I hope it is not too bad. But we will see it when we cut into it, how much Bondo are actually on it, and if I'm able to weld it on Bondo.
Time to start this operation. First we take a look at our rocker panel. We need to fix this hole, so we get going. I prep everything. First we are going to grind it down, to see how big it actually is.
I grinded it free and it looks actually like a wasp nest or something. What we can do now? The problem here is, when I look at the door I see the door is bonded. The gap between door and wheel arch actually doesn't match. And as I already mentioned, we are over the budget already on this car. Actually in one of the first episodes, that it is not a turd, it is actually probably not a turd, but it is so repaired to death. Yeah. And now we just have to look where we stop to cut it out, because first is the rocker panel, then it's the wheel arch, and where to stop. I mean, the entire car is welded to death. But now we will cut it out and try to weld it in.
It's bigger than I thought, but to see how bad it is, we need to cut it open. First I mark where I want to cut it. Not going to lie, I already have a bad feeling.
So, actually, when I look inside, it is like this. I should actually change the entire rocker panel, but that costs also a lot of money and time. And one thing you have to understand is it's a 60. It's not a 61 and not a 80. And at some point, I don't want to watch inside. And at some point it's just too much. Actually, you could probably get the body in a shape, or let's say in a state where it is good, but they welded in so much sheet metal as on the frame, it would probably take 3 times longer to repair this body as to take another body and just do it. And the main thing is probably it is a purpose-built machine. Sure, I made the frame really professional, but the frame is a very important safety part on a car. Yeah, normally I should change the rocker panel, but that is not into the discussion to change both of the rocker panels. Both of the wheel arches, both of the sidewalls, and the doors also run like this, so I know also underneath there is something. And then we have the front, you will see later, but now we will weld in a piece who probably lasts for a year or so, or at least the hole is closed.
To be honest here, we wanted to show you the full extent of the damage. We don't want to lie and say everything is fine, when in fact that's something that you would need to address. As mentioned, we already spent a lot of time and money on the 60 series project. But to be real, it won't go into the museum or be the perfect build. The owner wants it that way and that's what we are doing. A little side note, you also could shave the rocker and the quarter panel, like on the 60 of my brother, to save as much as possible. But that's not desired by the owner. But now let's go back and fix this hole.
Now we will cut out the little piece we cut out of the rocker panel. Try to weld it in without burning through the very thin rocker panel, and call it a day for the rocker panel. Everybody who is into Land Cruisers know if you start on a 60 series Land Cruiser, you actually have to do the whole thing. But
that's our sheet metal piece we use for the template. We take the old piece to get the right size. After we cut out our new piece, we make the needed fine adjustments. Here you can see both pieces side by side. Then we apply some rust primer to the side that faces inwards. We are almost there and our little template only needs minor adjustments. After fitting it, we can finally start to tack weld it. And we are pretty much done.
after the cosmetic repair on the rocker panel, we have to get the radiator out to replace it with a used one that it is not full of rust, and repair the body mount on the front mask.
Unfortunately, we can't save the radiator, because the whole cooling system was clogged and full of rust.
It's like a Sachertorte chocolate cake.
Before removing the front mask, we needed to get the radiator out. For this, we need to open the bolts that secure the radiator to the mask. And of course, after removing everything, the next obstacle is already waiting.
Okay, we have a little change of plan. The thing is, why I got the radiator out is because it is rusty as hell in there from the engine and overall the age. And I have to get the front mask of the car out because on the right side it is so heavily rusted. I mean, they painted over it, but it is so heavily rusted. There is not really something I can attach something to it. So I have to get it out and cut out an entire section of it and replace it. So the body mount is a little more than just optic. That's the plan.
My brother is removing everything like the indicators and the headlight covers. Removing this is pretty easy, just be careful. Especially with the front mask, you need to be gentle with the push-in connections. After every attachment part is out, we can remove the mask.
So we pretty much disassembled the front end and we discovered some nice things along the way. Yep. If you look closely, sheet metal over sheet metal, and also on the wheel edge over here, you see where they welded it, and yeah, they not even drilled a hole. Yeah, that's crazy.
I can clearly see how the fender was patched bit by bit, but also the wheel arches can tell a story or two. At least my brother didn't lose his humor.
2000 Garagen gepflegt, erste Hand. Nicht schlecht Wetter gesehen. 15.000 Meter.
So now we have the front mask off. It's again story of that car. They oversprayed everything. Sure, I mean, we made some cosmetic repairs on the rocker panel, but a rocker panel is a rocker panel, and that is actually where the body mount in the front does attach to the mask. And yeah, there is actually, yeah, the hole is still here, but the rest is gone. On the front mask, it seems to me, when you look how it is painted and what they did is, I think they sandblasted the mask and then, yeah, probably got bored of it and said, F it, we just put paint over it. And what I have to do now is, because we don't want the front to sag when the body mount goes all the way through, we have to cut out a piece from here to here and here and here. Replace that, make a new body mount, so we are sure that the body holds something. Actually, I'm surprised it didn't weld the body shut with the frame. It's a positive point. But the negative points on this car gets more and more.
We start again with grinding everything down to see the full extent of it. And a lot of Bondo to cover up the previous mess. Now we need to remove the body mounts in order to fix them. After cleaning everything out, we can take a look inside.
Good news is the front mask is not rusted to hell on the inside, just some surface rust. That's a positive thing today. What we do now is first we replace the down layer, actually what faces down, and then we make the upper layer, weld it together, tack weld everything back in, and then we make the body mount.
And that's pretty much it. The body mount and the upper layer are just pretty much gone. In order to fix the lower part first, we need to attach the sheet metal to the front mask. And I mark it so I know where to cut it. One advantage here is, when you can attach the sheet metal piece, your template will be more precise. Now we can start to tack weld the lower part. Don't forget to take your time here to align everything. After lining our new lower part, we can weld it through. Only thing left is to grind the weld and bring the lower part back in shape. And don't forget the fine adjustment. Because the front mask is open, we get rid of the surface rust inside and of course apply some rust primer. Then we measure how big the upper part of the front mask needs to be. Don't forget that the template needs to be folded, because the lower and upper part are connected. After a few fine adjustments, the piece is almost perfect. I also drill a few holes in it, in order to make some plug welds, so the template isn't just connected on the sides. And then we can finally tack weld it and align it. Now it's pretty much fitting perfectly, and we just need to make sure it fits the shape of the lower part and we are done.
The next thing we have to do is to cut out this little section where it also has two holes, and then we make the body mount bracket and weld it on it. That's it actually, and they could have done it also, because that was probably a 3-hour job. It was not that difficult. So the first thing is, I did cut out the old piece. As we see, it has everywhere pinhole sized holes, because the body mount is so rusted. It's the old body mount actually. There is no body mount anymore. Normally there would be something, but there is nothing. That will be the first thing.
In order to make a new body mount, I just simply copy the shape of the other one onto our square tube. After cutting it out, I once again put it next to the good body mount to nail the shape of it. Also, I used the square tube with the same measurements in terms of width. The body mount also needs a lower part. This is where it's secured to the body. This is pretty easy, because the shape of the mount is already finished. Afterwards, I just need to weld it together and apply some rust primer. Same as before, I made the side piece, which connects to the mount. I copied it from the other side and later welded everything together. Only thing left is to drill the hole for the body mount, and we are pretty much done with the front mask. But there was one thing I noticed.
They sandblasted the rear part of the front, as I mentioned before, and then they got tired of it and just painted over it. But there is actually not a bit of paint in it, because the car was painted like, I don't know, 3 months before, and there is already rust appearing everywhere, so not much paint on it. But yeah, I'm happy how it turned out. I remade everything like the bracket and the stringing part of it from the other side, because here was nothing anymore. I took the measurements from the other side. As you have seen, I used a square tube for the body mount, what is probably the easiest thing if it doesn't have to look original. Yeah, and now we can actually mount the front of the car on the frame without breaking through it. What is left now are to cut holes in the back where they welded shut the body bolts, and also cut out the 2 bolts they welded in and make a permanent fixture on the car. But that's a thing I will do when it is on the lift, because I don't want to crawl underneath it. In terms of body, or let's say visible holes, we are done now. We will see us on the next episode of Wrenching. Please follow us on social media and subscribe. We see us the next time.